That sudden rage that shocks you, the cruel thought you instantly suppress, the envy you bury under false smiles, is not a flaw. It's your shadow self, Carl Jung's most dangerous revelation, the reservoir of everything you deny, repress, and exile to the unconscious. Like a wounded predator banished to darkness, it doesn't vanish. It adapts. It hunts. It sabotages your relationships, career breakthroughs, and mental peace through cunning traps designed to bleed your potential. Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is not metaphor, it's psychological law. Your shadow manifests as inexplicable self-destruction. The job interview where you accidentally insult the CEO, the loving partner you push away with manufactured chaos, the addiction that returns after years of sobriety. It speaks through projection, hating others for traits you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. It thrives in your moral superiority, your spiritual bypassing, your curated persona. Tonight, we expose its three deadliest traps and turn your darkest self from saboteur to sovereign. You consciously construct an identity of purity. I'm generous. I never get angry. I'm beyond jealousy. These declarations aren't aspirations. They're psychological fortresses built to exile uncomfortable truths about your human complexity. Jung revealed this as the virtue mask, a defense mechanism where morality becomes the ultimate tool of self-deception. The more fervently you cling to this saintly self-image, the more you funnel repressed shadows, envy, cruelty, selfishness, into the unconscious. What begins as spiritual idealism mutates into performative theater. You play the enlightened hero on life's stage while backstage, your exiled darkness gains monstrous strength. The angrier you pretend not to be, the more fury pools in the unconscious like subterranean magma. It erupts through psychological fault lines, chronic fatigue, the body rebelling against the lie of infinite patience, passive aggression, veiled insults disguised as concern, or sudden cruelty toward loved ones, a violence so jarring you blame them. Jung documented this in Philanthropists who donated millions while secretly bankrupting rivals through stock manipulation, and in spiritual gurus who preach compassion while gaslighting disciples into emotional dependence. The shadow doesn't vanish through repression, it evolves. Your kindness becomes currency to manipulate gratitude. After all I've done for you. Your patience becomes a cage for resentment. I'll endure this, then make you pay. Your humility becomes camouflage for hidden contempt. I'm so flawed, said with smug superiority. This trap is diabolical because it weaponizes your highest ideals. You believe you're transcending petty human emotions, but you're fragmenting your psyche. The virtue mask ensures you never confront your capacity for darkness, allowing it to puppet master you from the shadows. It's why the nicest people often harbor thermonuclear rage, and why the most selfless souls manipulate through guilt. The mask isn't hiding your shadow, it's feeding it your disowned power. You craft meticulous plans, set bold goals, and make rational decisions, convinced your conscious mind captains your destiny. Jung exposed this as the hero's arrogance, a delusion where the ego, drunk on society's worship of willpower, ignores the shadow's subterranean currents. Like a sailor boasting he controls the ship while ignoring the riptide dragging him toward jagged rocks, your arrogance blinds you to the unconscious mutiny underway. That man who vows sobriety, yet accidentally books a hotel beside a liquor store? That woman who pursues her dream job but sleeps through the interview? These aren't coincidences. They're shadow coups d'etat, precision strikes by exiled fragments of your psyche fighting for expression. Jung traced this trap to humanity's addiction to the hero archetype, the overachiever grinding through burnout, the optimist denying despair, the martyr bleeding for approval. Heroes glorify mind over matter, treating vulnerability as weakness and rest as laziness. But nature abhors imbalance. When you disown your fragility, your shadow smuggles it in as chronic illness. When you deny your laziness, it erupts as procrastination. When you exile selfishness, it metastasizes as secret greed. A Silicon Valley CEO expanded his empire while his shadow funneled millions into a clandestine gambling addiction. not for pleasure, but to feel alive amidst soul-crushing responsibility. A Nobel laureate sabotaged her career by plagiarizing, not for fame, but to rebel against the prison of perfection. This is the psyche's brutal self-regulation. Unconscious self-sabotage compensates for one-sided consciousness. This is the shadow's deadliest gambit. You rage against evil in others while remaining willfully blind to its roots in your own psyche. That colleague you condemn as narcissistic, he mirrors your repressed grandiosity. The lazy intern, she embodies your secret desire to burn it all down. Jung exposed projection as the psyche's atomic defense mechanism, launching uncomfortable truths like psychological missiles onto external targets. Wars ignite this way, crusaders slaying infidels who mirror their own doubt. Marriages implode, partners accusing each other of infidelity to mask their own urges. And careers shatter, managers firing incompetents who reflect their hidden insecurity. The more viciously you vilify another, the more power your shadow steals. A climate activist who raged against oil executives was exposed for embezzling donations to fund luxury eco-resorts. His fight against greed was a proxy war against his own hunger for excess. A wife who publicly shamed her husband's emotional neglect discovered drafts of love letters to her ex in her journal. Her fury was a smokescreen for disowned longing. Projection isn't a mistake. It's psychological warfare waged against yourself, transforming the world into a hall of funhouse mirrors where every enemy is a grotesque caricature of your disowned self. Jung's method isn't self-improvement, it's soul alchemy. Start with shadow mapping. List every trait that disgusts you and others: cruelty, cowardice, greed. These are your exiled fragments. Then conduct ritualized vulnerability. Confess one shadow trait to a trusted ally weekly. I can be manipulative when scared. I sometimes want to burn it all down. Exposure drains its poison. Finally, channel shadow energy through sacred expression. Dance your rage in a dark room. Write hate letters you never send. Scream into thunder. Jung believed repressed shadows become demons. Integrated shadows become guardians. That entrepreneur who embraced his destructive impulses, he redirected them to dismantle corrupt systems. The nice person who admitted her cruelty, she set boundaries that saved her marriage. Your shadow holds stolen life force. Reclaim it, and you gain volcanic creativity, uncrushable resilience, and the courage to walk your true path. The hunt ends when you turn and face the hunter and discover it was always you.